Good morning. This is Joe Pryor with the virtualrealestateteam.com in Oklahoma City. And yesterday I did a video on short sales, expired listings where the short sales hadn't sold, and the marketing that goes behind it, and why the marketing fails, why actually short sales really need, if anything, more marketing than a regular home. And I wanted to continue on with this series and talk about a couple of other things that I saw even this morning. As is my habit every morning, I go into expired listings in the Oklahoma City MLS system, and I look to see what homes have expired and why. And as usual, I'm coming up on expired listings that were listed as short sales. Some are not, but many are. And that didn't sell. And I'm going, okay, why is that? Well, let me tell you a couple of discoveries I had today. Now, one was the typical thing, which is very little marketing was done on the property, very little description, room sizes weren't there, what was in the house wasn't there. And the thing that I saw had a lot to do with pricing. It was in a neighborhood where we had done a successful short sale about 2 months ago. In fact, in that same neighborhood, this house was not as in good condition as ours was. It was approximately about 50 feet, or 50 square feet, smaller than the house that we did. Ours sold at $100,000. We were able to close it in 45 days. A lot of short sales can close fairly quickly, especially in this case where it was a cash offer. But again, some of these companies are really getting behind the short sales and getting them done. But this house was listed at $120,000, had been on the market for approximately 7 months, and hadn't sold. Well, folks, it's a fairly obvious thing. If you have a house that's 50 square feet larger, better condition, and sold at $100,000 as a successful short sale, you can pretty well bet the farm that something at $120,000 in that neighborhood is not going to sell. And obviously it did not. But there's another thing that I noticed that is a real problem with realtors who do not know how to do short sales, or do not know how to work the pricing aspect of short sales. Again, a lot of these short sales are based on the fact that you've got to have a contract before it actually goes to the lender. Your documentation, everything, and then the short sale process begins. This is typically in a lot of the conventional loans. Now, the price originally on the house 7 months ago was $125,000. So within a 7-month period of time, the house has only dropped $5,000 from its original price. And looking at what was owed on the property, and again, this may not be absolutely true, but I looked at the first and second mortgage, I added them up, and I put 2 and 2 together and came up with 4 on this, which is what they were trying to do is avoid the short sale. They were trying to price the home so that they could avoid a short sale and pay off the mortgages. The problem with that is you can't sell a house for $20,000 to $30,000 more than its value. And expect an appraiser to come in there and say, well, gee, I'm going to let this go $20,000 higher than any other comp in the neighborhood. It just doesn't work that way. And so this person is at an auction, and our MLS system tells us when you're in pre-foreclosure or the short sale process is going on after 6 months, and then it also shows when you are set up for sheriff's sale auction. And this person was going to auction, so at this point it's pretty much too late for us to do anything about it. But to me, that's not responsible, because what we do with a home is we start out at a particular price, and then we have a gradual step down in that price because we're expected to get fair market value. But fair market value for a short sale may be a bit different, and usually is a bit different, than it is for someone that has equity in their home and are making the payments. So what we are trying to show the lender is that we are doing our utmost to get you fair market value, to get you the maximum price. So we have a listing history that we follow. We have feedback requests we send every realtor that shows the home so that we can say, hey, look here. These people said, yeah, nice house, but overpriced. Yeah, nice house, but needs too much work. Or whatever it happens to be, for us to fight with that lender on your behalf to get that price down. And we do that, and we have been successful in doing that, even on some of the short sales that have an upfront approval, like with FHA, for instance. It's not easy to do, but we know the drill, and we know how to do it. And we're going to do everything that we can to help you avoid that foreclosure. Now, in this particular situation, I don't believe the client was served. And again, I may be casting aspersions here, but I have enough experience in this business, and I've been doing, gosh, my first short sale was 16 years ago. And so I know how these things work. And I know in a situation like that, there is a problem, just from an anecdotal evidence point of view. So the other reason besides poor marketing and realtors not knowing enough about short sales, even if they're well-meaning and saying, you know, I'll try my hardest and I'll get on Google and try to download some documents and some information, it requires more than that. The other thing is knowing some of the other details before you ever get to the negotiations with the lender, which is how to price the property, how to drop that price on a gradual basis. So that is the other thing that I see. If you're in this particular situation, if you are someone saying, well, gee, I'd like to avoid a foreclosure, see if you can get enough money to pay off my loan, it really doesn't work that way. It's very, very difficult unless there's real value there. And then why are you doing a short sale? You have equity. You don't really need to do a short sale whatsoever. Normally the reason why you have to do a short sale, you have 6 months, 8 months, 10 months of payments you haven't made, and interest and penalties, and about maybe $4,000 to $7,000 worth of attorney's fees may have something to do with that. That is when pricing is incredibly important, and it's why we have a structure to what we're doing on short sales. So if you're an Oklahoma City homeowner in financial distress and you need help, please call us. We don't charge any upfront fees. You can stop doing business with us at any time. We're not hooked into the government. We're not hooked into the lender. We cannot guarantee you that the lender is going to change things. These are all required of us now as people that are trying to help you avoid foreclosure. But what we know is how to avoid a foreclosure if you work with us, if the situation is right, if we don't have some crazy stuff like tax liens, which even in those cases we can solve. But if you do that, if you have that situation to avoid a foreclosure, we can help you. You can go to our website, www.avoidforeclosureoklahoma.com, for immediate answers. This is Joe Pryor with virtualrealestateteam.com in Oklahoma City, where we deliver traditional real estate values with the speed of technology.